Let's talk about how to deal with burnout, particularly as a PhD student. I want to share with you my crucial PhD mental health tips. What has helped me deal with burnout in grad school, academia, and the work grind in general. With a 5 to 7 year PhD program, it's not surprising I've gone through waves of burnout, and I know how terrible it is to be in that state of losing hope and gaining apathy, and I have desperately looked for solutions to get out of that. Unfortunately, it feels like the norm, but if you still have some time left before you graduate and you're trying everything to find a way other than this unhealthy norm, here are 10 things that have worked for me to try and avoid burnout. I am currently recovering from burnout, so I have a lot to say on this subject. Number 1, put yourself first. Mental health, physical health, and emotional health. I became burnt out because I felt like I was giving so much to everyone else and everything else, and I couldn't fill my own cup enough to feel fully recharged. One quarter, I had 9 presentations to give in 9 weeks, on top of all my other responsibilities as a researcher, a TA, mentor, etc. I was constantly giving away energy and effort that I didn't have. In this phase of burnout recovery, I'm prioritizing myself and my needs. Or at least trying to. I started with my goal being to get through the day doing at least one thing for me to make sure I'm good. One thing just for myself. Now I'm up to an allotment of one thing a day for someone else. One time-sensitive email, one small task. Otherwise, I schedule it for later. I'm still working on achieving that one thing a day, but that's okay because until I get myself in a good place, it won't help anyone to keep depleting the well. Number 2, recognize it. Accept it. It's okay to experience burnout. Let's take away the shame and let's stop glorifying it. Typically defined as exhaustion, a lack of motivation, energy, having a low mood, usually caused by being overworked for a period of time without balance, feeling of purpose or fulfillment. Some things that might help you recognize it: you might feel like you're drowning, you're on the hamster wheel going nowhere, starting to lose hope. All that's left is cynicism. Sounds like a typical fourth year. Unfortunately, burnout in grad school and in the PhD is oh so common, and the reasons that often contribute to this would take a whole other video. But know that there's nothing wrong with you for experiencing these things. And it might mean your personal needs might shift and need more attention. Number 3 is similar to 1, but a little different conceptually. Ask yourself, what's one thing I need today? I was advised by my therapist to start with a simple question at the beginning of each day. I run it through my head while struggling to get out of bed in the morning and get my butt to work. All that matters is taking care of myself and this one thing to get me through the day. Maybe it's to reach out a friend to vent, or find a work buddy to make sure you reach a deadline, ask an alumni for advice, or even get out of bed, get out of the house, eat a nourishing meal. If this was the only thing I addressed for the day, that was a win. And it really helped me be more compassionate towards myself and have a mentality that my only requirement for the day is to take care of myself in this one way. Number 4, get help. Whether that means getting help with your work, delegating tasks, or getting help for yourself. When you're in burnout, you know that things aren't going okay and you need to do something about your situation in order for things to start feeling okay again. So to do that, you'll likely need a helping hand in whatever form that may be for you. For me, seeing my grad counselor regularly, key. Setting aside time weekly to work on my paper, on the writing, so that I have some sense of progress toward my end goals of publishing and graduating. Attempting to ask for help when I'm overwhelmed with responsibility. This one's really hard and I'm still learning and practicing. 5 is setting boundaries. Also extremely difficult, especially as a woman, and or if you come from a culture of people pleasing and being obedient or complicit, which usually means difficulty saying no or being assertive or feeling like we'll be looked down upon if we do those things. So ask yourself what tasks, responsibilities, or interactions make you feel overwhelmed, and then ask why. Is there a reason for any resentment you might feel towards those things? See if there's anywhere you can communicate expectations, drop or delegate a responsibility, or ask for whatever it is you need. For example, I felt resentment and overwhelm every time a deadline with my advisor got pushed back because it prolonged my graduation time and we had no set in stone deadlines. I reflected and realized that the open-ended timeline was the main culprit of my lack of motivation and my growing cynicism. My therapist recommended creating a one-year timeline with monthly goals that my advisor and I can use to both set expectations on paper and keep each other accountable. I did this and communicated with my advisor and finally felt a sense of control and that I'm making steps towards what I want in a way that benefits us both. If you want to hear more about this, look out for my video on creating a one-year plan to graduation. Number 6 is making compassionate to-do lists. This was another great tip from my therapist, where you have your long to-do list every day or every week, right? But the goal is to make it a 2-to-1 ratio of tasks that are for work versus for yourself. For every 2 tasks of work, you need to have something that would make you happy, relaxed, look forward to, or just better in any way. Put it on your to-do list so you always have something to look forward to every day with every 2 tasks. This is important. It was hard for me to do this, and we came back to it every week. It actually makes a difference, so please create more joy in your life. Number 7 is having focused questions for the week. 2 to 3 questions or goals that are small and tangible things to work towards. This creates a sense of momentum and progress and can help you prioritize what to spend your time on to actually get you to your goals of publishing or whatever it may be. We have quite long-term timelines and goals, and so it helps each week to have one question to refocus on. Number 8, actively look for ways to boost your mood. I would wake up every day when I think of my one thing I needed for the day. I needed something that I knew would make my mood better, forcing it to be better in a way, creating serotonin and dopamine. You can actually look up activities and things that will do this for your brain chemicals. If I felt anxious or stressed, I found that if I went to go sit in the sun for 15 minutes, that would help. Plan a solo dance party, put your favorite song on to sing to, schedule that workout class with friends. Singing was a good one for me because the breathing of it is supposed to be good for your nervous system. Number 9, learn what makes you feel balanced. So once you try these things that can boost your mood, also think of it in a holistic way. How much of this do I need? Do I need to input more of this in my schedule? Just try something and see how it affects your mood or motivation. Build up your toolkit and make sure to schedule in these things that keep you sane because they are non-negotiable. Our well-being should come first. Okay, number 10, take time to recharge, especially if you're in burnout. It's not going to fix itself. There's no use in trying to push through without ever taking a break if your quality of work and focus are suffering anyways. Depending on what your schedule allows, this might mean setting boundaries to be completely offline after work, on the weekends, and if possible for a longer vacation. I think all grad students deserve vacations despite what some advisors might tell you. Use that time to do the things that boost your mood, make you feel balanced, and like the complex human being you are because you are not just a student or your job. I find it very grounding to remember all the other aspects that make up my life and who I am. And a bonus tip, know that you're not alone. Whenever I run into friends, the consensus is,
"Oh, I'm burnt out. Yeah, it doesn't really end or get better, huh? Yeah, just gotta push through, I guess."
So we're not going through this alone. Like, sadly, it's the norm, at least in my experience. So sometimes it feels good to know that you're not the only one experiencing this. But burnout culture shouldn't be everywhere we see. So let's spread these tips and break down this unhealthy norm. These things have helped me transition out of burnout, but it can be hard to regain momentum, especially if you're having trouble staying focused and motivated. So check out my video on free tools that can help you with your focus. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And I've desperately looked for solutions to get out of it. Okay. Plan a solo dance party. My legs hurt.